alert, we're unpacking the whole plot, twist by twist. If you're spoiler sensitive, hit pause and come back when your TBR list catches up. Cheers!
Welcome to the podcast where our reading habits are unhinged.
And so are we.
I'm Gabby.
I'm Miranda.
And this
is Marginally Unwell.
Today, we're looking back. Normally I don't like to do that, but we are looking back at our 2025 reading year. We're sharing stats, prizes, our favorite reads, some unexpected gems, longtime favorites. We're reflecting on books that made this year so memorable. Our 2025 reading wrapped, if you will.
Reflections.
But this was a good year for reading.
I think so.
We had a big year. Let's hit it. Out the gate. How many books did you read in 2025?
90.
90.
Yes.
Was that more or less than you expected?
Way more. My reading goal for 25 was actually 60 books.
Okay.
So blew right past that.
Yeah.
We also, I think a big influence of that is we started the podcast. So that was a guaranteed 3 to 4 books
a month.
Yeah. Additional that I wasn't taking into account of this time last year. So I think that really helped that number. But
yeah, I agree.
I was very surprised. I saw the number, I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I was also surprised. I read 76. I think obviously the podcast contributed to that a good bit. So, and I've been doing a lot of buddy reading this year. So mine was 50.
I was about to ask, what was your goal?
So I did 26 over, you did 30 over. So we were right about the same amount over on the goal that we had originally set. So
Nice.
That's hilarious.
So what genre did you read the most this year?
It is very unsurprising. It was fantasy. Yeah. I think by a pretty good bit.
Do you know how many of fantasy you read?
I don't exactly because my Fabled is like a little bit messed up right now. But I think it was like 40 something of them was fantasy.
So like more than half.
So more than half, yeah.
That's hilarious.
So basically every one that I chose on my own.
Maybe like 2 from the back. That's hilarious.
So for sure fantasy. What was yours? This genre?
My Fabled is also a little bit skewed. Well, not skewed, like it is reading it correctly, but it categorizes some of the genres weird. So romance, I had 36, thrillers, 35, mystery, 19, fantasy, 18, and then 12 fiction. And to be honest, all of those are fiction.
Yeah.
Maybe like 2 or maybe are nonfiction, but I feel like mystery and thrillers kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So if I combined both of those, it was, I believe, 54.
Yeah.
54. So I would say mystery thriller is one category, and then my second category would be romance.
Okay, yeah. Because I actually had romance as my second highest, which was shocking to me, considering my feelings about that.
Heavily influenced.
Yeah. So, number 1, I'm blaming you. And number 2 is I think because it was categorizing, like, romantasy. And, like, I get that, but also, like, when a book is, like, more fantasy than romance, I feel like it should be just fantasy.
I agree.
But, whatever. So, it was very interesting to see that romance made it into my top 3 categories. It was wild.
A win is a win.
So we read a lot of different genres. We're diverse. We're doing it. So with diversity, what format do you think dominated your year? Audiobooks, ebooks, or physical books?
100% audiobooks. I have to constantly be doing something, and when I'm not, it's my second highest category would be ebooks. I wish I kept track of that. I probably will going into 2026, just because I'm way
Like-
more intrigued with the stats of things.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start tagging them with my 26 reads.
That's a good idea.
And then
I'll
I'll do tags like if I do, because sometimes I'll do audiobook during the day, and then when I'm starting to unwind for the evening, I'll switch to ebook. So it's like both. Does that make sense?
I mean, yeah, that's how
So
I do that a lot. Yeah. Because sometimes I want to keep reading it, but I have to go do something, and so then I didn't like switch over to audiobook.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm the same. It was audiobook heavier. Honestly, audiobook definitely won, but ebook was pretty up there for me. I really do enjoy like physically reading more. Not necessarily a physical book, but just like reading with my eyes and not my ears. But audiobooks won because unfortunately, I have to go be an adult and do things, and so that's the only way I can still read at the same time. So yeah, but I definitely want to track it too. I just got on Fable, and so I want to kind of dive more into the stats on everything, and then now being able to put on there like every day that I read and like what format. I would be really interested to see the actual ratio of it.
Yeah. I'm curious. I'm curious of it. Cool. Did you stick to your reading goal, or did chaos win? So
Yes, win, but not in the way that is portrayed, because significantly over goals. Obviously, we both already said we were at 50 and 60. Blew that out of the water by 30, almost 30 books.
that's insane.
So
We also didn't expect to start. I think we started talking about doing the podcast like in April,
yeah,
in March, April, and we actually like executed it in June or July.
yeah.
So that's like half of the year that we were expecting.
To have like real scheduled, and I am going to force myself to read. Not that I really had to do this, but like if I was kind of in a reading slump, I would force myself because I'm not going to like
You have
not
a
do
commitment.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
For sure.
Plus our yeah, that was heavily influenced. So I think like for both of us, I don't want to speak for you, but I think I'm gonna put into account the dedicated 3 books a month into my next year's.
Yeah, my goal is definitely going up higher with us continuing into next year for the podcast, and kind of seeing how that has played out now that we have been doing it for like a good while now. I feel like we have a good grip on how many we're looking at reading.
Yeah.
And so, okay, so getting into some of what we read, what book totally surprised you in a good way this year?
So 2 comes to mind, and I know that's more than one, but 2. So these 2 I wasn't expecting to read, or wasn't really on my radar until they were this year, which is one, Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. That one I heard really good things about. I went into it thinking it was going to be a good mystery thriller kind of thing, and it was really, really good. I starting to really get heavily into mystery thrillers, and I really like her Will Trent series, and I think she's becoming one of my more top authors that I would probably like more gravitate to as comfort reads. But for sure, that book, I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. And I think it's a lot better than the books that I've read for Will Trent. But I don't know. I just really, really enjoyed that one. It is pretty graphic, and it is, murder mystery. So watch out if you read it. And then the other one is Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Yes. I really like that author. That was my 3rd book from her that I've started. I read Jay-Z Zones in the 6 after you listened to that, read it. And you had good things. That was actually my 2nd book of hers. And then my 1st book of hers was The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. So I already was kind of experienced with that author, but I feel like this one is for sure my favorite of those 3 that I've read of hers. And I do plan on reading the one I got you for the Christmas wrap. So we'll see, to be determined in 26. But yeah, it was really, really good. The audiobook for it was phenomenal. She did a really good job, so highly recommend.
Yeah, it's on my
Short list.
Yeah. So my couple was one, actually the one you just brought up, which was Carrie Soto. Sorry. I don't know where my brain was going. Yeah, that's what happened. Anyway, and it's not because I thought that it was going to be bad. I just wasn't expecting it. Like, period. Like, it wasn't a book that I
was on your radar.
Yeah, it really wasn't. And so it was a nice surprise. And then I think another one that was a big surprise for me was I started buddy reading Dungeon Crawler Carl with Joe, my fiance, and he is a big like gamer guy. And so I had suggested it because I had heard people talk about it and that it was written really like a video game. So I thought that he would really enjoy it, and I thought it would be a fun thing for us to read. And I've ended up really, really liking it. I think it's so funny. It's so different from anything, really. It's so chaotic in the best way, but that one was a surprise to me. Again, I thought I would like it, but not necessarily as much as I have enjoyed the whole series, actually. So
very nice.
Yeah, those were my...
That one is a very high contender. I think there are a few books, 2, 1.5.
We're on the last one.
We're on the last one. I'm on the 6th one.
Okay, so what's in the one book?
Okay.
Number 8 comes out in May.
Your birthday!
Yeah. So I'm excited.
Oh, yes. That was a good mention.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see. Did any hyped book actually live up to the hype? I guess overhyped book.
Yes, a big one for me that I absolutely loved, that everybody I see who read it loved, is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. That one actually kind of was a surprise to me too. He hadn't really been that far into like historical fiction before. So it was a little bit of a surprise, even though everybody said that they loved it. And then I was kind of like, oh, is it going to be too hyped up? And I'm not actually going to love it because I don't know if I like historical fiction. But I loved that book so much. It was so beautiful. So that was one that definitely lived up to the hype. What about yours?
I'm going to say Funny Story. I really, really liked that. I know it's a romance and it may not be like your radar, but
it was. I rated it high.
Yeah, I rated it,
which is
interesting.
Weird for me. But
that one, I mean, I do read a lot of romance, but I do feel a lot of the cringe in it. Yeah. Like, I'm not unaware of the cringe.
Sure.
But, like, this one, I don't know, it just hit something in me that was like, this is it. Like, you know, like the, all of the references for Bridget Jones.
Oh, gosh.
Like,
that was so
them just trying to, like, get through life in, like, their late 20s, early 30s. Like, I totally felt that. I don't know, I just related to it in, like, a adjacent way, and it was just so, like, peak for me. So I really think that one really lived up to it. Yes, I really enjoyed it.
Also, if you want to know more about our opinions on that book, we actually did a podcast episode on Funny Story, so check out that video.
Yeah, link in bio. Love that plug.
What was a book that you expected to love but didn't?
Let me sort these.
I can also go first, but I have to go first. So my big one, which was a big deal this year, was I did not really love Throne of Glass.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I read the Throne of Glass series. Everybody I know who's read it really liked it, and it fell a little flat for me.
Yeah, hot take.
Yeah. It was sad because I wanted to love it, and I kept trying so hard. I read the whole series, so I gave it a chance. But it just didn't hit for me. So that was one I was expecting to love and just didn't.
Oh my goodness.
I thought this one was one for you.
Yeah. Okay, so she's mentioning Mexican Gothic. So that one had been on my TBR for quite some time. That one, I want to say like a year, maybe close to a year and a half. And I was just, the reviews on it said it was like a Gothic horror a Mexican Gothic horror. And I love all of like the Mexican culture and all of that, and I love the Gothic horror of things, and I feel like that really fell flat. And I just wish it had more elements, and it was just a little bit more streamlined of the story. So yeah, it didn't live up to my expectations. So thanks for that reminder.
No problem.
So moving on to a better note, what was your number one book of 2025?
I knew this question was coming, and this is like so freaking hard. I had some good ones this year.
Yeah, I was looking through here, and I had 7 5-stars.
That's crazy.
I
think my top read. Well, I should have been more prepared for this one because I knew it. I think my top read this year is going to be Lightbringer, which is the latest one in the Red Rising series. Most of that series I read this year. I read Red Rising previous year, but the whole rest of the series was this year. I'm just going to say that series in general, but if I had to pick one out of that, it's probably Lightbringer.
Lightbringer. That is good to know. I did fully commit to reading the whole series next year. So I do have like some commitments of series, and then I have some like individual novel commitments, and that was one of them. So I'm excited about that. Fresh start with that. Anyway, for one, I'm gonna have to say my favorite book.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I feel like that can be interpreted like so many different ways. I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna do Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. Yeah, I was having a really hard time with that. So I'm committed. It was between that one, Atmosphere, and like Funny Story. But that one I think I think about that one the most.
You know what I love? Just because this was such an anticipated for us, is that neither one of us ended up choosing Onyx Storm.
Oh, interesting. Interesting take.
Like, love the book.
Yeah.
I know you did too. And we were so excited for it to come out. But I just think it's so interesting that was... I feel like that was one of the most anticipated reads we had for this year.
Yeah.
And so for that not to be, like, our top, it's kind of interesting to me.
I also did not rate that 5 stars. Yeah, I think, maybe like a 4 and some change.
Yeah.
But I rated Iron Flame. I reread Fourth Wing, and then Iron Flame snuck in the very, very beginning of 26. I think I finished it like the first week of January. And I rated Iron Flame 5. So I'm looking at it. But yeah, that's interesting.
I don't know. It just popped in my head, so I thought it.
Yeah, and none of these books, I wasn't waiting for them to be released.
I
was waiting for Onyx Storm to be released.
I know, because we both had it pre-ordered. We were so like upset over the whole thing that was like happening with people getting it and whatever.
Yeah,
and
they were getting it like a few weeks
because they were finding it in Target, and then they had like the whole other like special release because it was supposed to be like the different one because we did the whatever. I don't remember the full thing. I remember it was like a whole deal. We pre-ordered it in the summer of. Like, I think I pre-ordered it in April, May, something like that. The end of spring of the previous year. Yeah.
And that was the only one available. And then getting towards the release date, all of a sudden, everybody has, like, a special copy. Like, Barnes & Noble's had a different one.
Yeah.
Target had a different one. I think another store had a different one.
It was crazy. And
we're like, what the heck? I pre-ordered this, like, literally 8 months ago.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It was just an interesting observation I have.
Good one.
What book are you still thinking about?
Well, several, a lot of them. So I'm going to give you 30. So I think about Pretty Girls. I think about the DCC series a lot because they have a, and if you've read these, and Gabby knows this, they have a lot of like good vocal stems in them.
Oh yeah.
And so anytime something happens, like I think of it, because there's so many references in. Exactly. So I think about that one a lot on the daily, and it's very funny, but also has like some serious undertones in it.
Mm-hmm.
So that, and then yeah, I'm just gonna give like that one and then that series.
I'll agree with you on DCC, but I feel like for me, because I'm in it right now. I feel like it's a little unfair to like feel like I'm still thinking about it because I'm like actively reading it right now.
Oh well, yeah, it's a whole series, but I still think about like the first one.
I mean, yeah, true.
You know.
So big ones, I think for me that I still think about. I don't think I'll ever stop thinking about Red Rising. Literally my Roman Empire at this point. The Nightingale. But I just think about that one a lot. And then Carrie Soto is back. And again, that's fairly recent, but which again, we did an episode on this, so if you want more info on how I felt, but I just related to the main character so much that so then in my everyday life, I'm like, it makes me think of her. I think we were talking last night and I said something about it.
Yeah.
And so I'm still thinking about that. I'm still on my top. Can't stop, won't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop. And honorable mention, The Night and the Moth. I just thought of that.
I just scrolled past that one and I was like, oh yeah, that one was so good too.
Yeah, I think about Bartholomew so much. And anytime I see like a statuette, like I get a lot of in my Instagram feed, like they're like pretty marble women.
Oh, okay.
So like now I affiliate that with that book, and
all of them are Bartholomew.
Yeah. Well, no.
You're talking about the main character.
The main lady, the abbess.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Figs.
No.
Okay.
Well, like them turning into that.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I like because I see a lot of like these statues because I think it's amazing that they make them look so fragile, but they're like made out of stone.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And it makes me think of the book. And then I see like all these, because I follow that guy that moved to where that cathedral is, and he's a stonemason, and he also works on gargoyles.
What a niche thing to be like into.
Dude, it's so good. He has like a little. I'll send you one of his posts.
I'll do. Yeah,
it's crazy. But yeah, it comes up whenever.
That's a good one. That was a good one. Yeah.
Best written book versus most fun book. So I have mine, so I'll go first.
Okay.
So I think the best written book I've read this year, not necessarily the best story. Don't get me wrong, this is a good story. But Billy Summers by Stephen King. It has been a very long time since I've read a Stephen King book.
His writing is just so superior.
It's so good, and it makes me miss reading his stuff. I do have I want to say extensive, but I want to say I have like 30 of his books. And that's not an exaggeration. I think that's an exaggeration of how many physical books I have of his. But it really made me miss his type of writing and his storytelling. It is different than some of the books that he's really written because he's more known for horror. But I really like this almost contemporary book writing of his. So that was one of my 5-star reads this year. And makes me want to get back into Stephen King. I don't know. I'm sure I'm going to pick up a few books in next year, but I don't think I'm going to like really deep dive into it. I'm not committed into that yet. But versus most fun book, and I have to circle back to Funny Story. That one is just, it has me laughing and like just how ridiculous it is. And from there, yeah.
Okay. I honestly agree with you. We all know
The Queen.
Stephen King is my favorite author, hands down. I've said that for so long, and his writing is just so. It's just so good. I can't say anything else to say that. So honestly, there was a lot that I do feel like I read that were really well written, which include Red Rising. I think Pierce Brown is also an amazing author. Both of the Kristen Hanna ones I read this year. She has a unique writing style as well, but I'll always give it to Stephen. And I think that was my only Stephen King this year.
What about the 11?
I read that at the end of 2024.
Oh, wow. What? What?
His writing is just my favorite, so that's the best written. The most fun, I honestly think, was I read the Crescent City series this year.
Yeah, that's
and those ones were so fun to read. I also buddy read them with Joe, and I don't know, we just had so much fun talking about those books.
There's a lot to talk about.
It was really interesting. We did an episode on them. That was a guest episode too, so that was fun.
And we did the whole series.
Yeah.
Which was nice.
Mm-hmm. So I think that was my most fun read of the year.
That's a good one.
Yeah. What book would you recommend to everyone? It's so hard to recommend like a
just
universal.
one? Okay, so I have a couple, of course, because I can't just pick one. So I think everyone should experience a Stephen King book, and I think Billy Summers is a really good one.
I would agree with that.
I think that one, like, I think Stephen King could be an intimidating author, and if you're not wanting to read a horror, I understand, like, that is, preference. But this one is phenomenal. It's really, really good. And for you to, if you have not read, or if you haven't read him in a while, highly recommend reading that one. It was really, really good. Another one, just because the series I reread every now and then. It's probably my third time reading it through. It's by Dorinda Jones. She has 3 series out, and the series that I read this year, it's a 3 books. But I for sure recommend the Sunshine Vikram series. They're just like a mystery romance comedy. And she is so good with her banter and her characters and them being smartasses and giving each other shit. I really, really like them. And then if you really like her, then I recommend her 13 series. It's The First Grave on the Left is the first book. I cannot for the life of me think of the series, but I recommend her as an author.
Man, so hard because I do read so much fantasy, and I feel like that is not universally. I feel like it's hard for me to say I would recommend them to everyone because the genre is not for everyone. One that I thought was so cute, actually, and I feel like everybody could find something relatable, and it was like kind of funny. Was Remarkably Bright Creatures.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it was a lot of, like, real life, and so I feel like anybody could read that and, like, relate to it and enjoy it, and it's not, like, so genre-specific where, like, I feel like some people would hate fantasy. Unfortunately, a lot of what I got. I mean, not unfortunately to me.
Yeah.
For a universal one, I think that would be from this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is.
It's a 25 or a cat.
There's probably some other ones, but I didn't read them this year.
That's funny. Let's see here. If you could read one book from this year for the first time again, which would it be? That's hard. I think all of these questions are hard.
They are hard. It's like picking the favorites.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
Yeah. I get it because I kept saying Billy Summers and the Pretty Girls. I've read 90 books, and those are the only ones I can talk about.
I know, because the other one I want to say is The Nightingale. But I'm like, it was so good. And to experience that again, it's like, I'm just going to say The Nightingale. Because
The Nightingale.
Yeah. It was so impactful.
I've really gotten into Frida McFadden this year. I've really gotten into her thrillers. They're kind of cozy thrillers, and they're all like novels, so it's really nice to read / listen to them. My favorite so far of hers was Never Lie. And this one, a lot of the times, especially with hers, I can really pick out like what, like get a general idea of like what's gonna happen.
Sure.
And then it's always gonna, like, she always has like some out of left field to twist that kind of like goes well with the story. But this one, like, it really did get me. I was like, I didn't see that, and I didn't see that coming. I saw that coming, but not like these other things. And I really would like to experience reading that again, because it was just fun uncovering all of like these little things that kept happening. I do remember also telling my boyfriend every time I put pause or got to the end of a chapter, I'm like, you'll never guess what just happened.
I love whenever that happens. You're like freaking out, or you're like getting in bed.
Yeah.
Okay.
He'd be like, okay. Listening to me all patiently. And he'd be like, what? This one, I was telling him like chapter by chapter was going on, and also Pretty Girls, and he was just like, what are you reading?
What was your biggest letdown of the year?
My biggest letdown, I'll give you a different answer. Like spring, summertime, I was getting into my mood swing of romances, and one that really let me down, that was really hyped up, was Deep End by Allie Hazelwood. Did not like it. I don't know why I finished it. I think this would have been like the first book I've ever DNF'd for real. It was just not my favorite. I gave it 2 stars. That was generous for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess because we already talked about like stuff that was like hyped up that let us down.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just in general. But one of the big ones for me that I thought I was gonna like, and it was kind of sad because it was our first episode ever, was The House Across the Lake. I really thought I was gonna enjoy this so much, and I absolutely did not. At all.
That was a lot going on with that book.
Woo! Yeah, that was not it for me. So that was my biggest letdown. Also, just because of like us just starting the podcast, I didn't really want to go into it being like, "Well, I hated that," but
I still think about that book from time to time.
I still think about it too, but not in a good way.
I do. I like the conversation that came out of it. Like,
I mean,
yeah, but the whole reading it, yeah, that was rough. It was, yeah. I don't think I've picked up the author since. Sadly,
I do like. There was something else I read of his, but that just was not. I don't know. But I see it on a lot of like recommended lists on like Book Talk and stuff.
you know, if I see a book that I hated and I've only read one author and it's on a TikTok person, I'm like, I hate it. I don't trust you.
That's fair. But
Like, if you like that, no, I can't do it.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm not your target audience.
Yeah, so that was fine.
Good choice. Make it my
We obviously we're going to talk about a lot of the stuff that we have done episodes on. So if we did an episode on a book that we talked about, we'll try to link it. Definitely go check them out because we go more in depth than just the single questions on these. But yeah.
I guess this question kind of goes into what we were just talking about, but any book you hated but finished anyway. Yeah, so I'll add into there. I read the Twisted series by Anna Long, and the second one, Twisted Games, not it. Yeah, 2 stars. Yeah. But I finished it because I was committed. But anyway.
Yeah, I feel like the only time that really happens for me is whenever it's something that we have picked for the podcast. Because I am not afraid to DNF a book at all. I'd be like, you're done. So basically, the ones that
you were forced to read.
Yeah, like literally forced to read. So I mean, The House Across the Lake is the biggest one for me. It was just. There was other ones that we read on the podcast that I didn't necessarily enjoy as much, but that is top of mind when I think about like if I had been reading that on my own, Did any book almost put you into a reading slump?
Yeah. The Grey Alone did. It was hard for me to pick up another book because I couldn't stop thinking about it. And it was also hard for me to pick up another book expecting to follow that book.
Yeah.
Because it was so good. And then I pick up a 2-star reading. So
I don't really feel like I have, because I feel like we were talking a lot about like letdowns or like ones that we didn't like. I don't think I really get slumps from books that are bad. Like I'm just like, oh, that sucked. Moving on.
Yeah.
But I would say Red Rising almost put me into one because that series was so freaking good that I was like, I don't know. Nothing's gonna compare. So that one almost did, but again, with the commitment to the podcast, commitment to buddy reads, things like that, I feel like it would be really hard for us to be in a slump because I feel like the only way to get through a slump is just to do it. And since we have so many commitments with this and like even book club and stuff, it makes it really hard to like actually have a slump because I feel like I have to do it anyway.
Yeah, I think that would be like a really good question too. Maybe not for this podcast, but like if you're in a reading slump, how do you get out of it?
Yeah.
And what are your expectations around it? Because I know I've been asked several times how to get out of one. Very deep vision. And, why am I the person that they go to? I have no idea.
Probably because you read a lot, and so they think that you've experienced it.
Yeah, okay, yeah, valid.
So you would know how to get out of it. But.
Yeah, I do think that, but yeah, that is hard. I do remember, there was a series that really put me in a reading slump. I can't remember. It was the series I read last year. It was the Sarah J. Maas, the Crescent City series. That one was hard for me to get out of because I think it was so. And I know it's just 25, but that one was so good and it was so different. I do like fantasy a lot, but I really liked that it was a modern fantasy and it was a very fast-paced one, and it was. There was so much going on. It had a lot of drama. And I remember that one being really hard to get out of. Anyway, yeah. Did your reading taste change this year?
I mean, okay. No, ultimately no. I read majority of what I read was still fantasy.
It was so hard, like,
no. Yeah. Absolutely. However, because of really trying to do better about branching out, I will say that I have found other stuff that I like. I still think my taste is primarily fantasy, but I have found some new stuff that I like. So I guess maybe a little bit, but it wasn't because I don't want to read that. I just found some new stuff too.
So this one was really, I've been enlightened a lot at the end of this year of reflecting in 2025, but yes, my reading taste has started to change. So I've noticed, and I think I've mentioned this to Gabby a couple months ago about the fantasy. Like I'm having a hard time really getting into it, and I keep not necessarily reading the same story, but I feel like a lot of it is blended, and it might just be. And I've seen some people talk about this in like the romance setting, that modern day romance is just so washed out. Like it's the same story just written in different fonts.
Yeah.
And I feel that way in fantasy. And I still love fantasy, don't get me wrong, but I think my taste in fantasy has like really changed.
Yeah.
So I'm being very picky with my fantasy reads. A high one that is not much a surprise, because I watch a lot of true crime. I watch a lot of like YouTube cop things. Like it's crazy. But yeah, I do watch a lot of true crime, a lot of podcasters on YouTube. I follow a lot of them, and so I'm very into the murder mystery thrillers, which was 54 out of my 90 books. But I also want to say I've started really getting into contemporary reads. So that is surprising to me because I used to not like those, like college days, early 20s. I wasn't really into contemporary. So
I agree.
surprised that I'm breaking into that category.
Yeah, I feel like the contemporary reads and historical fiction for me were a big jump this year.
Yeah.
Like
that came out of left field. Like, yeah. And I think that happened because of our book club and because of this. So like Ellen Hildebrand, Taylor Jenkins Reid, Kristen Hanna.
Yeah.
So I'm loving branching into that category.
Yeah. Did Book Talk / Bookstagram influence your reading?
I would say yes. I am. A lot of these books I did pull from those, but I've had to learn throughout the year, and I think we've mentioned this in other podcasts where we really had to rein back from my FYP page and really like vet the influencers that we follow. So I think the beginning of the year was learning how to mitigate that, and I think I've really found a rhythm in there, and so I found like a select few that I like to watch, and then a select few that I actually take recommendations from. So
yeah,
and I'm glad that I do because otherwise I wouldn't have read some of these 5-star reads.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. I was in the same boat because like, going through TBR and stuff, I was finding some random ones in there, and I'm like, what even is this? I don't remember putting this on here.
Yeah.
But I really fell into the trap of like the talks where they are like explaining a whole story, and it seems like they're like giving to you on their life. And then at the end of it, they're like, oh, this is a book by blah, blah, blah.
And it's a romance.
Yeah. No, I didn't have it. But I added a lot from that because I was like, oh, that's like, oh, because I'm nosy. And so what's happening? And then I was like, oh, yeah, okay, I'm going to read that book. And then it would be on my TBR forever because then I wouldn't get to it. And then I'd go back and I'm like,
and you read the description and you're like,
that doesn't sound like something I want to read.
Yeah.
So definitely being more careful about that. I feel like I have leaned more into finding the people that I really like Brady, obsessed with her, and honestly, a lot of her recommendations have given me some 5-star, 4-star, like top reads of this year. So finding the people that you really align with, like reading, and like kind of going from there. But I definitely think it influenced this year a lot.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree. Do you have a preferred way to read? If so, or how do you usually like to read, and is there a way you'd rather read? So I wrote this question very confusingly. So I'll give you my answer. Okay. So is there a preferred way that you would like to read? So I prefer to listen to a book because I am very fidgety. It's very hard for me to sit still. So I have to be doing something. Like I cannot just be doing one thing. So I like to listen and do chores, run errands, whatever it may be. But I also like to listen and play like my Nintendo or, my coloring or whatever.
Yeah.
Or building my Legos. So my ideal reading is in my bed, fortress, like pillows, and then it being cold with my dog next to me. I'm listening to my book on my Alexa, and I am playing my Nintendo. So
so you went real specific, like the vibes.
Yes.
Okay, I got you. So format-wise, I prefer to read a physical book. That is not realistic for my life.
Not even for just your ideal, like, perfect scenario. Yeah.
So in my perfect scenario, it would be also in my bed. I like the YouTube ambiance videos, specifically with heavy rain and light music. Like the rain is louder than the music. So I'm real picky about that, obviously. So that going, coffee, because I'm obsessed with coffee, and a physical book. Yeah.
Your ideal setting.
That's my ideal setting.
But this scenario where I can listen and play a game at the same time doesn't happen often. But is it my favorite? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
What kind of book do you want more of in 2026?
I really want to do more historical fiction. I really, really enjoyed those. And talking about the like contemporary and stuff. I don't know how much I'll lean into that because I feel like that could get not my favorite pretty easily.
Contemporary?
Yeah. But I am interested in there's a bunch more Kristen Hanna that I really, really want to get to. So yeah, I think I want more of that.
I was gonna say more of the contemporary. I am really liking Ellen Hildebrand. I added a lot of her books into my TBR that I'm planning on reading in the springtime. Early spring into early summer. So I'm excited about that. And then I have a 2, maybe 3 more of Taylor Jenkins Reid on my short list for next year. That I'm excited to start. I don't know when I'm going to do those. Probably summer, going into fall. I don't think I'm going to read them in the fall time.
So next year, whenever we do this,
we'll see. We are mood readers, so we just throw it out the window and do something else. Not feeling it.
What is one reading habit you're keeping next year and one that you are trying to?
Okay. One reading habit I'm trying to keep this year and one I'm trying to leave behind. I am trying to leave behind whenever I'm not feeling a book and I put it back in my TBR. I just need to commit to the DNF. I just need to do it because I don't pick it back up. I think, oh, I wasn't really feeling it. Am I going to feel it this time? Just don't do it. What are you doing? You're cluttering it up. Okay. If it's really not important, I'll add it back. So I just need to commit to the DNF folder. What I'm trying to keep next year, I'm going to say I really like listening to my book through my Alexa, like on audiobook. So I'm going to keep that because I listen to it because I have one in my bathroom, an Echo. So I listen to it whenever I'm like in the shower, or like doing laundry or like whatever.
Yeah.
And it like frees up. I don't know. It's really nice because then I can tell her to jump into another room whenever I'm there.
Yeah.
And it picks up seamlessly on my phone. And it also picks up where I'm at on my Kindle. So I really like that. So I'm going to keep that going into next year.
One I am trying to keep, I've done pretty well with it, is reading every day. There have been days that I've missed. But I really liked reading every day. And because I just got on Fable, now having that like actual like day tracker, I love a streak. So yeah, I'll be taking that into next year. You know, reading makes me happy, so we should be doing that. What makes you happy? Leaving behind. I don't really know if this is like a habit or just like a mindset, but I'm just gonna say it is always feeling like I'm behind on reading. I'm trying to let myself just be okay with where I'm at. And I struggle with that sometimes where I just feel like I'm behind. But I am trying to not do that. It's something I want to do, and nobody's putting any sort of deadline on me except for myself. And so I need to stop putting that much pressure on myself. So, yeah.
Love it. Best reading moment of the year.
My best reading moment. Not like a book moment or like.
Let's say, like, if you were. My thought of listening to that question was, what is a moment that you remember while reading that really stood out to you?
Oh my gosh, easy. When I was reading Carrie Soto is back and she talked about why people hug each other.
That's fair. I was literally driving. I remember when you called me. I was driving to work.
I was also driving, and I immediately was like, pause. I was like, I have to tell you this. So that was probably one of my most memorable. Oh, that one or the big reveal in Crescent City. Because I was losing my mind over that.
Are you talking about whenever the universe thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Because,
Oh,
okay, so I was buddy reading Crescent City with Joe, and I had read ACOTAR already, and he didn't. And so we commit to like a certain amount of pages per day. And so he had already read his pages, and we were talking, and he was like, yeah, nothing really happened like over those 50 pages. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I read it, and the universe crossover happened, and I lost it because he was gonna read ACOTAR, and so I couldn't like tell him, but I was like, oh, you're so wrong that nothing happened. And those, like, you could not have been more wrong at what happened in those pages. So that was a big moment too. Nice. Yeah.
that was a good. I remember what you called me during that too, and I was hanging up my clothes.
Yeah. I was like, I have to tell somebody about this right now because
I can't believe it.
Yeah. I was like, that was wild. Also, it was just like so circumstantial because I was like reading it with him, and he was like, nothing even happened. So I was going into it like fully like, like it's just going to be some dialogue or something, and no.
So I also have two. So one of them was when we were reading Funny Story together, and I was like, "Did you get to that part? You call me, you know what part it is."
Yeah.
And you're like all nervous, but then immediately when it happened, you called me.
Yeah, because you called and you were like, whenever you get to the part, you're gonna know, and then you call me. But then I was like, great, it's like best friend test. Like, what if I fail? So then I'm like panicking, but as soon as it happened, I was like, girl, immediately called her.
It was great. Yes, that one, I really loved that moment in reading. And then another one was whenever I first started, when I was listening to the first DCC book.
Okay.
It was an audiobook, and my boyfriend and I were in the car driving. I can't remember where we were going, but he's usually on his phone, and I don't really listen to music anymore. I just do audiobooks, or I do like lo-fi, and only lo-fi whenever there's other people in the car, so it's always an audiobook.
Yeah.
And I was listening to that book, and it was like maybe 2-3 chapters and maybe 4, but actually I lied. I have no clue where we were. But it was the first time whenever the AI was referencing his feet, and he was got like real creepy.
Yeah.
And he was like, he like stopped whatever he was doing. I think he was like looking at motorcycle parts or something. And he's like completely out of context. All he heard was like, those little piggies like to stop, or something like that. And he's like,
what are you actually listening to right now?
So, yeah, those two were my favorite moments.
That's funny because I have almost really horrifying moment with DCC because my boss recently asked me to give him a ride to Scout Tire, and I was like, "Oh yeah, sure," not thinking it, and I forgot that when I was going into work that day, I had been listening to DCC, and it started, and I was like, and I like immediately paused, right, and then he goes, "Oh, it's an angry book," like right in the middle of me. I was like, "Oh,
it's an angry book."
yeah."
Last question. What book are you ending the year with?
So technically, I'm ending the year with some upcoming podcast episodes. I will not reveal. But I guess like self-chosen book, I'll probably be ending it with, we'll be finishing up the 7th Dungeon Crawler Carl book. Give me my last one. What a way to go out.
What a way to go.
Dungeon Crawler Carl, okay? What's going to be your...
Actually the same, but number 6. So
that's funny. Yeah. That's really hilarious that we're going to like end on the same note.
For sure.
What's even crazier is we're going to end on the same note, and it's not one for like the podcast or book club.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's for our own personal enjoyment.
So funny. 25. Reading wrap.
We're excited. That was a fun year of reading, definitely.
It really was. I'm so excited to go into next year and see what happens. I'm also so excited to see all these analytics now that are going to be at my fingertips and really be able to document where we were and all that.
And looking back at it, like more adding things like the ebook.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
paper,
Because
audio.
now that we've done this like wrap up, we're going to be more conscious of like what that looks like.
Tracking.
And so it'll be really interesting to see what happens in the next year.
Yeah. Let me add this question then. Do you have any idea what your reading goal next year is going to be?
Oh,
So you ended at 70.
76. Honestly, I really want to go 100, but I feel like that might be a little. I don't know though, because I read so many. We talked about this stuff like outside of this, but I read a lot of a lot of larger books this year that were like 800 pages plus. So you know what? I'm gonna do it. 100 books.
100 books? Wow.
I'm gonna go 100 next year.
I ended at 90, so it makes me want to do more than that.
That's why I was like.
I am. While we were prepping and doing all of this, I was shocked that I hit 90. Like I for sure thought you were gonna do more than me because you had a lot more buddy reads.
Yeah.
But you did have a lot more thicker books. I don't know because golly, that's like 8 to 9 books a month.
I'm just thinking because I'm like, if we're doing a minimum 3,
that's 36.
Plus, if we do book club, that's another 12. Plus,
okay, 12 total. Okay,
so that's 48. Just in like commitment books.
Yeah, so then it would be at least half for just us.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm going 100 because I
you know what?
can do it.
It's not that I don't think we can do it. I just think it's insane because I went into it.
We can accomplish anything. It's just crazy, okay?
It's just insane because think about it. You went into this year going at 50, and I went to 60.
I know, but the fact that I like
crushed it.
Yeah.
And
so I don't want to give myself, I don't want to go to like 75. Like I already beat that this year.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Okay, well, let's 10 extra books next year. I guess I'm also going to do 100. And then 27, 101.
Well, I mean, honestly, eventually we're going to get to a point where we're like, okay, we can't raise it anymore. Like, honestly, I feel like if I was really close to 100, if I hit like 102 or something, I would probably keep it around there.
Yeah.
But I just feel like with the fact that I went 50 and then we only had a half a year of the podcast.
Yeah.
And I blew that completely out. There's no, I
hear what you're saying. I'm just flabbergasted. Okay.
I get it. Okay. You take whatever you want.
No, I think I'm going to do it.
So we're going 100. We're locking in 100 books in 2026. That's wild.
You're doing double your goal and then doing 60 to 100, whatever that is, 40% higher. Yeah. It's insane. You know, I always thought, like, looking at the TikTok and Instagrammers, like, before we even got into this ourselves, like, that's insane. Like, how are you reading 100 books a year? I get it now.
That's what you really want to do.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you do.
Yeah, I mean, I see it. I mean, the numbers are there. I'm just excited for all the new stories.
Because it's crazy. Like, yeah, we did. Okay, so yes, we started this, and you're saying, like, oh, yeah, that does, like, now it tracks as to, like, why you would read so much. But we only had a half a year of the podcast. So that only contributed to what, like
36? No. Well, that's hard because whenever we first started, we were doing 4, and then we went down to 3.
Sure, but
let's just say we did 3 the entire time. So 3, and we released in July, I believe. So
literally,
5 months of times 5 times 3, 15. How much is that? 5 times 3? Yeah.
But I mean, I think we did more than that for the podcast.
Well, yeah, because we were doing 4, and then we switched.
So I even think 20, but okay, so
Yeah.
20 of them out of your 90.
So 70 minus the
I mean,
10
we
we did for
book club and so I'm just saying, like, while yes, obviously it contributed to it, I don't think like
Yeah.
that's the reason that you were able to.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. You don't have to. I'm just amazed by myself.
I'm just so amazing.
It's just so amazing.
Anyway, looking
Anyway,
forward to it. That 2026.
2025.
Yep.
So
Next
let's
up.
see what we're reading.
TBR jar.
Yep. First episode of 2026. Let's find out.
What's it gonna be?
No, it's meant to get our next book for the very first episode of 2026 is going to be How Does It Feel by Janine O'Reilly. This one's been on both of ours, I think. Both of our
Wow.
TBRs.
Yeah. Yeah. Exciting.
Yeah, starting off with fantasy. We'll see. We'll see how this turns out.
Just how I like it.
All right. Well, now's your chance to grab a copy and meet us here next Sunday. We'll have thoughts.